In this tutorial video, I'm going to demonstrate you how to configure PPTrack's additional server called Diameter Peer, which is going to be used in other tutorials. For this tutorial, I'm using ptrack with Diameter base package. So let's start. To access Diameter Peer settings, go to File, Settings, select Additional Servers, and select Diameter Peer. Now check Use Server checkbox. As you can see, there are many different parameters. So I'm going to talk about them. Our Diameter Peer is going to support only one application, which is authentication application, and its ID value is 4. So parameter authentication applications should be left as default. Now parameters accounting applications, vendor accounting applications, and vendor authentication applications in our case should be left blank because our Diameter Peer is not going to support any additional applications. Parameter Diameter client firmware should be left also default because this parameter in most cases don't make any difference, and our case is no exception. Now Diameter client name. This parameter defines name of our Diameter Peer. So you can type any name you like, just make sure that remote peer to which we are going to connect and send a message is going to allow us to do that by using this name. Now Diameter destination host. This parameter defines Diameter identity of remote peer, and in this tutorial I'm going to connect to remote peer, which identity is sum.host.com. Now Diameter destination port parameter defines port number on which remote peer is listening for inbound connections. Diameter host ID. This parameter defines our Diameter Peer Diameter identity, and in this tutorial I'm going to use identity which value is my.host.com. Also make sure that this identity contains at least 2 dot symbols. Now Diameter port. This parameter defines our Diameter Peer's port number on which peer is listening for inbound connections. So make sure that there are no other applications which are using this port. Diameter realm parameter. It defines realm of our Diameter Peer, and in this tutorial I'm using realm which is my.realm.com. Also make sure that this realm value contains at least 1 dot symbol. Now Diameter vendor ID. This parameter defines our Diameter Peer's vendor ID, and also it must be supported by remote Diameter Peer. Graphical user interface refresh time. This parameter defines how much time is available to render graphical user interface, and in most cases 48 milliseconds is enough because it is 24 frames per second. So I leave it as default. Now stored message count. This parameter defines amount of messages that are stored in memory for Diameter message analysis. Supported vendors. This parameter contains list of supported vendors by our Diameter Peer. Just make sure that this list contains vendor ID of remote peer. When you are done with editing these parameters, click on button apply, so all the changes are saved, and now you must restart Diameter Peer. You can do this by restarting ptrack or by unchecking and checking again use server checkbox. Now I'm going to create simple traffic model and send a message. Let's open scenario window and I'll use one credit control scenario element, which I'm going to configure to send credit control initialize message. Now let's open its parameter options. Let's open mandatory AVPs and let's fill values of them, 4 of them. Let's select authentication application ID. As you can see, its value is 0, but we need to insert our value, which is 4. Don't forget to click button apply changes. Now origin host. This AVP must contain value of our diameter peer identity, which is my.host.com. Destination realm is value of a remote peers realm, which in our case is sum.realm.com. Origin realm, this is our diameter peers realm, which is my.realm.com. Now credit control request number is 0, which is fine for us. Credit control request type, it should be 1. And service context ID, in our case it may be any string. Just make sure that your diameter peer is going to accept such value. Now let's set activation rate to 1 and maximum user count to 1. Let's open diameter peers user interface by selecting view additional servers diameter peer, and let's start simulation. You can see that we had successfully sent our message, and also we had received a response. So that means that our diameter peer was configured correctly. So this concludes our tutorial. Thank you for watching.